lot of experience with this BD.
Well, I have about 7 years with BD and about 15 years with directory sites.
Wow. Wow. So you're like an expert, a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, I go with seasoned veteran. I don't like the word expert, but
Well,
it's not false modesty. It's just, I guess that's for other people to decide. But I think I know more than the average bear.
yeah. Well, I'm 6 weeks into it, so you know a heck of a lot more than me.
Well, I'm happy to help you any way I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate the offer. So I'm just kind of getting my head around it. I joined the thing. They said it takes a half hour to set up your directory, and certainly that was a lot more than a half hour for
They really
me.
say that?
I think yeah, they say get up and going in like a half hour or something like that. Uh,
That's ridiculous.
yeah, but in any case, I mean, I got through the first 2 weeks learning curve was huge,
Right.
and I got it working. I'm sure I can continue to tweak it, but uh, my background is I sell commercial real estate, and I had my marketing people working on a directory because I had a big Facebook group,
Right.
and they were trying to build it from scratch, and they kept blowing it up. So I just Googled it and found brilliant directories and did it on my own.
Sure.
Uh, and even they're impressed. But yeah, I had talked to Corey Barnes. Had somebody connected me with him originally because was interested in buying my Facebook group, and then he told me about this, and you know, it, you can buy a big Facebook group, from what I understand, really cheap. But I kind of knew there's value in mine, but I didn't know how to monetize it.
Right.
So that's my background.
Well, what is it that you're exactly trying to do now?
Well, I guess my next step is to build membership. It's been going pretty well for me alone, but doing it myself. But
Did
my
I look at
thinking
your
is,
site? Did you put your URL in any of your posts?
I think I did, and I think I did it in the private message, but it's beachside.directory.
No, I don't remember looking at that. Hold on.
I figured if I'm going to do it like a business, then I should have salespeople
All right. Well,
selling.
that's not coming up as a website, beachsidedirectory.com.
No, beachside.directory, no .com.
Oh, beachside dot
Directory.
directory. Let's see.
Did I come up?
Oh, so you're in Fort Lauderdale.
I am.
No,
Where are you?
I used to live in Boca Raton.
Oh, okay.
I used to do theater at the Boca Raton Dinner Theater, and also in Fort Lauderdale at Brian. What was the name of his dinner theater down there?
Not
I don't
the
remember.
Parker Playhouse or.
Parker Playhouse.
Oh,
And I
okay.
used to teach children's theater at the Fort Lauderdale Children's Theater
Wow.
years ago. Hold on one second. I gotta let my dog out for the fifth time today. Come on. I told you no more in and out. It's too cold. Yeah, I lived in Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, West Palm Beach, Delray Beach, Boynton Beach.
So that's my market area. So
Right.
I listed this as the beachside directory. I've got a fairly big following in Lauderdale by the Sea and Pompano. I'm on the boards of actually I'm on the executive board of the Pompano Chamber. I'm not on the board any longer in Lauderdale by the Sea.
Well, I did membership development for the West Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce for a couple
Wow.
years,
So
and that is where I first gained my high end telemarketing skills. I had sold other stuff via telemarketing while I was an actor in New York City, but when I got down to West Palm Beach, I fell in with a professional. See, their whole thing, what the chambers do, well, you may know some of this. Most
Yeah.
chambers try to rely on volunteers in the community to help them build their membership.
Right.
What many successful chambers do is they hire an outside company. The outside company hires the office space, the telemarketers, they do the training, the phone systems, and they give the chamber gives them 78% of every dollar they bring in. That's what our cut was. Every chamber is different. But
Of the first,
chamber is
they give it on
happy
the first year or reoccurring?
first year.
Okay.
Now the chamber was happy to get the 22% because we were bringing in hundreds of members a month.
Right.
Hundreds.
Right.
You know, we had weeks where we'd bring in 150 members.
Right. Wow.
So the chamber was thrilled with the 22%, and it really did cost us about 50% to run the operation, and then what was left of that was, profit, and so it worked out good for everybody. But the other thing is, like, I work with my local chamber here, and they're just abysmal. They are apathetic. They brought in one member last month. One.
Right.
And I told the board of directors they should fire the president and because when I worked for them part-time, I would bring in 16 to 20 a week on an average week. And I was doing it part-time.
Right.
And and you may laugh at this, but I was being paid on straight commission. They fired me because they felt I was making too much money.
I am laughing because you're preaching to the choir.
I know, that's why I told you we were going to have an interesting conversation.
I told both chambers the same thing, and several years ago we did a membership drive in Lauderdale by the Sea, and I was telling them that they needed to pay more, and they said to me something like the chairman at the time said to me, he said, "We'll just pay on the first member you bring in." I said, "That's ridiculous. That's stupid." And he said, "Well, what if somebody brings in?" Well, he says, "What if I bring in 20 members?" I said, "Well, I'd put a statue of you in town hall."
Exactly.
and then even the Pompano Chamber, they give you 50% on your renewal.
Right.
I said, $50 on your renewal.
Right.
I said, just give them the $50. I said they're bringing in $350. What would it hurt you? It doesn't cost you a dime to have a new member. I said, give them $50. What if I sold real estate and you told me you were going to pay me in a year if I bought something else from you?
Right. Yeah. We didn't really pay too much on renewals because, well, the chamber paid us on renewals, but usually the salesperson who made that sale wasn't around any longer. So that was pure profit for the company. Because most telemarketers who are committed to dialing the phone 100 times a day, they don't last a year. Right.
Well, I told them that it doesn't, the lifetime value, once they're in, it's up to, in the same thing with our directory. Once they're in, it's up to me to keep them in and keep the value there.
Right.
But I could give away the whole first year's membership if I'm doing a good job with retention.
Right. But, the cost of acquiring a new member is so high that the renewal is where the money is. But what we did was we paid our salespeople anywhere from 25 to 50% of what they brought in on a sliding scale.
Right.
And what we do is when you hit the next break that took you from 25 to 30%, that went all the way back to the first dollar. When you hit the next break, all the way back to the first dollar. That always encourages somebody to make that one more sale that's going to get them to the next commission break, because that takes them all the way back to the first dollar to get that extra 5%.
Yeah,
so
I love
that's
it.
how you motivate people.
Yeah, you incentivize them to do what you want done. So that's why I loved your comment when people are talking about, oh, you got to give them a base salary, so that shows your confidence. No, the base salary tells me that these guys are desperate for money and that they don't have any confidence in their abilities.
Absolutely, and especially if you can't sell Chamber of Commerce memberships, you're not breathing.
Well,
Because wait a minute now. What are you selling? You're selling a
it's almost there.
plaque, a sticker, and a handshake.
You know what? We're gonna get along because between you and me, and I haven't said this to a lot of people, but being on the chamber board made me realize I got to do this because I'm telling them to do this stuff, and it's and they concentrate on these stupid events that take a tremendous amount of time by dedicated high dollar people, volunteers, when they could be concentrating on membership and just giving value to people. I saw them doing a drive to collect alcohol to give away for an event.
Are you serious?
And I said, you know what, instead of telling people to drive a bottle of vodka over to the office, why don't you just go to the liquor store that's a member and buy the vodka? Don't spend 3 days trying to tell people, to contribute, and then get 2 new members,
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you're a chamber member and you paid for your membership, you don't want to be hit up 3 or 4 times a year for other things. You want to see people coming into your business because of the chamber.
And that's what, frankly, some of these, like Lauderdale by the Sea, they weren't even supporting their own members. They weren't buying.
Wow.
They
had no
buy
loyalty programs, nothing.
Yeah, they'd
Let
get
me tell you
brochures.
something.
Go ahead.
I can show you how to make $1 million working with chambers of commerce. I'm serious.
Frank, I love you.
Listen to me. I'm 72 years old. There is not, and I know a lot about a lot of things in life. I've worked in a lot of different things. There is nothing I know more about than membership development. Nothing.
Okay, I love it.
I mean, if I am an expert in anything, it's that.
I told them they need to have.
Listen, I was making $250,000 a year running operations in 21 cities around the country, all through telemanaging the offices.
Wow.
I trained every telemarketer we had. I wrote the script. If you deviated one word from my script, I fired you on the spot. Because every time you deviated, you were taking money out of my mouth.
Wow. Yeah, I love it, Frank. I love everything you're saying. So, and I've seen some of your posts. So you're more like Ryan is more the technical code guy.
He's the techie.
Yeah. So
I can build websites. I'm very adept at building WordPress websites. That's really where I make most of my money.
Right.
But I can, I also do a service where if you're a new BD owner and you don't want to build your site for $395, I build the whole site for you.
Really? I'm going to use that because I bought 5 lifetime sites.
Oh yeah, I bought 35.
Did you? Okay. So
I sell them. I sell a turnkey operation. I can sell somebody a built site for less money than BD will sell you a one-off site.
Really?
You have to do everything yourself. Yeah.
So if I want to do that with you, Frank, do you build it out with one of mine, or do I just buy one from you?
Well, you could just buy the build-out service and use your own license. There's no reason for you to have to buy a new site from me.
Well, for $395, if you can get me up and going, with a new site. I'm not ready yet, but I will be.
Yeah, when you're ready, you let me know.
So,
I will warn you in advance that I am going over my entire store and readjusting my prices based upon what happened in the past year, and I'm adding a lot of new products and services, but it'll be around that figure.
Okay, so did I just lose you?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I do. My screen just went blank. So that's fine. So here's my two 30,000 foot views of what I'm looking to do.
Right.
Is first of all, I got this one site that I'd love to take off, and then maybe replicate it into other areas. I'm in the beachside areas in Broward County was my vision, and then if I can get it operating, autonomously or semi-autonomously, then I'll go into another area. But I'm also now I've learned a lot about what other people are doing,
right,
every night I can't go to sleep sometimes because I'm thinking about all the possibilities.
I love it.
But my main business is selling hotels, and
What do you mean?
one of my several ideas is to do one for boutique hotels, which is my sweet spot,
Right.
where they can list. And I don't know what they'd list, but when I've done on Facebook a hotel site, I get a lot of vendors. So I know the vendors would pay a lot of money to be in there.
Right.
And so, not only if I can get the hotels, then I can also get guests, reservations, flooring guys, internet guys.
Look, you got to be careful. There's a lot of things you can do. I always tell people, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Okay.
What you want to concentrate on is making the most amount of money for the least amount of work. What you're talking about now is a new career, okay? I mean, to do all the stuff that you're even just beginning to talk about, and I know you haven't even told me everything you'd like to do in that project. It's
Right.
the only thing you're going to be able to do with your life.
Okay. I like
It's
I like I like the insight you said 72 years old?
I'm 72 years young.
Okay, I'm 61, so I'm not far
Well,
behind you. So
well,
I love the insight.
pardon my French, but you're still shitting yellow, okay?
Okay.
You're a
Okay.
whippersnapper.
All right. Well, I'm always willing to learn it, to hear good advice, and to hear somebody who's been up the road a lot further than me. So
Right. Well, I promise you that, you know, if you want to, look, I don't try to. Let me explain a couple things. Which I should
okay,
have prefaced this conversation with.
go
I've
ahead.
been retired for 7 years. I run a not-for-profit, no-kill animal sanctuary. The only
Nice.
reason I work is for two reasons. I have extremely poor health, and if I don't work, I'm going to die. It's just what keeps
Right.
me alive. The other thing is every penny I make, I put into the animal sanctuary. I have a beautiful home on a lake. I drive my paid in full BMW convertible. I don't need anything, and I have everything, not only of what I need, but everything of what I want. So it's not about the money, but people say, well, then why do you charge for the things you do? I said, well, here's a perfect example. Right now, I'm going to give you a $125 an hour consultation. I'm not charging you anything for it, but I'm going to send you an invoice when we're done for $125 marked paid in full. Why? So you understand the value of what I gave you. Because if I give it to you for free and don't let you know its value, you think it's worth nothing. Not you in particular, but people in general.
No, I totally get that. As a matter of fact, I had a lady that is struggling. She's an interior designer. She hates working in a furniture store, which she's doing now. She tells me she's trying to make 25 grand and shoot a year, and she wants to be in the directory. And before I got to the point where I said, let me just put you in there and see what I can do for you. She asked me about joining and doing the $49 plan, which sounds to me like a lot for her, but I
49 a
realized
month?
that, yeah,
I got to look at your
but
pricing. I didn't even see that yet. Go ahead.
yeah, look at my pricing because I think I'd love to hear what you think, but the bottom line is just like you said, she's not going to value it. If I give it to her, I've heard coaches say this: if I give it to you free, you don't do it, you don't take advantage of it, you don't appreciate the value. So sometimes people have to pay for something to get more out of it.
And let me ask you a couple things here. And another thing I have to tell you up front is, how do I put this?
Go ahead, be brutally honest.
I'm I'm not going to tell you things you want to hear. Oftentimes, I'm going to tell you things that you need to hear.
Oh, you like my wife then? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Except probably the sex might be better. I don't know. Now
I'm
listen,
not going to even answer that.
listen. Why are you doing a monthly plan?
Because that's what was in the format, and and I had no idea, and I still have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm actually surprised that people. My first guy took the yearly plan, and most people are opting for the yearly plan.
Right. Let me explain something to you. You
Okay,
take now. I don't even see the yearly plan on this page anywhere. Where is it?
it should be. I mean,
I have an elite
the
for 49 a month, a select for 29, and a basic free to join. And I see nothing about a yearly plan.
oh, so when you click that, it says to join. Then it says it actually has the
No, 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 no,
yearly plan as the pre-selected option, and it shows
no.
you where you get a 15% discount for
All wrong.
yearly.
All wrong. You're doing this all wrong. This is not how you market a site.
Okay, well that's the problem that I'm having is that's their unless I code it, that's kind of their
No,
format.
not at all. Not at all. You
Okay.
just do another. Believe me, this. And all right. So let me. I'm going to click on your select plan.
Can we share screens or no?
No, we don't
Does
need
that?
to. We can, but we don't need to. I'm just
Okay.
looking at something here. All right, so I see that. That's one way to do it. Okay, opened in a new window. That's not so hot because people get lost. All
No,
right.
even I talked to Ryan early on, and he caught me and saved me from making the mistake of I was setting up each city right, individually.
Yeah. No. No. No.
But, oh no,
Let
don't do that.
let me explain something. When you set up a monthly plan, think about this. You're now giving people an opportunity 12 times a year to change their mind.
Right, right.
So you offer a yearly plan. You make it, let's say, $497 a year. But if you act today, it's this. If you act in the
Right.
next, you want to give them 10 days, you want to give them a free trial. I'm not big on free trials, but if you want to do that, that's fine. But, you know, the monthly plan should be high enough where you have to take the yearly plan if you're going to offer it.
Yeah.
Also, let
So
me,
let me just back up 1 second. 6 weeks ago I had 0 members, so it's hard to say.
how many
Give
do
me.
you have now?
I have 130 with about 13 paying members.
So which one are you telling me is good?
What
Both?
do you mean? What's that?
You think that's for how long? How long you been doing it?
6 weeks. So last month, my first month, I made $1,000. So
Right.
that, and the second month, as of the 15th, I had another 2,000.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that's more than most directory owners make in a year.
That's what I'm noticing from the posts. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
kind of
nobody tells you that
surprised,
though. Nobody admits what they make. Well,
right?
look, if you're making that much money, we could turn this thing into a real money maker for you. But I,
I like where you're going
yeah,
with
but
this.
I just think you're going about it all wrong. I mean,
Well,
so where
that's
are you
what
getting
I'm talking to.
your? All right, so
I
let me ask you two questions. Number
okay.
one, are the only people in your directory now people who have joined for free and you've sold memberships to, or are there claim listing members in your directory?
I don't have claim listing, but I do have. I'm just going to see if I can look down
Because I
here.
don't
And,
see anywhere. Oh, I see full directory. I just saw that now.
so Sloan's
So
ice
you
cream
got
just gave me
135 members total.
right, right.
Okay. You know,
So some of them are coming in just kind of shocking me. And some people are calling me and asking me if I can help with their business. And I say, just sign up for the directory and then we'll see what we can do.
all right, something else now. This RNS law firm here,
RNS
at
Law
the bottom
Firm.
of the page, Randall
Oh, Randy
Strauss.
Strauss. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In that now, do you mind me? Is he's paying for an ad, right?
No. He's a freebie. I've known him for a long time. He's also a commissioner in my area. So
Okay.
I
Well, let
said,
me
let me
explain
just
something
throw
to
you in
you.
the directory.
You are giving away about let me see, 35, 70. That's about $500 a monthly real estate you're giving away there. Now, there's no reason not to give the guy a free ad, but that's not how you do it.
Okay, so let me tell you what the my thinking was. Can I do that, or do you?
Sure, of course. I want to hear
So
your ideas, or I don't know what direction to help you go in.
okay, so first of all, I started thinking who spends money on advertising, who advertises. Personal injury lawyers advertise, right?
Right,
They advertise on the urinals at the stadium for the ball game. So they on all the buses. So they're used to spending money on there.
right,
So this is a guy that was a target market that I wanted to hit,
right,
and I didn't have anybody in there, so I needed to put some in there.
right. But let me tell you what this ad does.
Okay.
This ad says to the next lawyer who looks at it, wow, that ad is so large and takes up so much space that number one, unless I take an ad of that size, which I know this guy's spending a ton of money, why do I want to compete with this guy?
Okay, so first of all, I didn't know how to make it smaller, so that was my ignorance. But yeah, it is too big.
Now, let me
Second
show
of
you
all,
something.
Second of all, wait, let me just tell you one thing that's
Right,
interesting. So he's a commissioner. So I said, listen, I just started this directory. I'm going to throw you in there for free. And I know that when I start charging, you have to declare that. So I said, I'll let you know so I can take you out when when I'm starting to charge for that real estate.
right,
And he says, because I don't want to have any, ethics issues for either of us.
right,
And he says, let me know when you start charging, and we'll pay compensation.
right. You'll
So,
work it out.
but my thinking was that, I needed to, and I rotate those, by the way. If it's only been 6 weeks, but I just put him back in, I'll take him out, I'll put something else in, I'll put a paying member in.
Well, what you should do is you should have a rotating banner there, so you have 10 ads, and every 30 seconds they swap out.
If you tell me how to, if I
Well,
learn how
that's
to do
that's
that,
part of what I do. You're not supposed to be doing that.
okay,
You're not a
okay.
techie. I mean, I'm not a techie either, but that's not really technical. That's just part of building a site,
Well,
knowing knowing where to put the script.
it's like
Right?
brain surgery. It's easy
Okay.
if you know
Now we
how.
also got this Gold Coast car rental.
Okay,
Again,
go
a
ahead.
square ad with all this wasted real estate on both sides of the ad. You're killing the physical look of your site. Now, do me one favor. Go
Yeah.
to. Wait, where are we at? We're in.
Let
Are
me
we
tell
in?
you about, I'll tell you the backstory, and I'm telling you all my secrets, my skeletons. So Gold Coast Car Rental, locally owned, locally operated. They said we'll pay you 20% of anybody you send our way. Uh, I've been sending people, and the guy calls me up. He's like, "Hey, I'm coming over and brings me $100, $120, $50." So I'm doing what I can to promote him, but in the directory, he's not paying for this because he's bringing me money
That's
anyway.
fine.
I don't even know.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the wasted space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know how to use that. This was the default banner. If I could figure out how to use that
All
and
right.
how to make them
So
smaller.
go to this website.
Okay.
Vineland, VINELAND, VinelandNJ.com.
NJ.com. Oh, okay. I put in a space. VinelandNJ.com. This is beautiful. Very
Now,
nice.
so the first thing at the top. Now this is not finished. This hasn't launched yet. So
Okay.
not all the links work and everything. Brian and I are working on this now.
Okay.
Notice at the top, I got a Chamber of Commerce offer.
Right.
Right?
Wait. Get listed. Join our members only Facebook group.
Well, it's above that. At the very top, there should be a scrolling slider.
Okay. The Scott slider is scrolling now. Yes.
Okay? And then
Right.
it says grab it now. So that would take you to where you can get a special deal if you're a Chamber of Commerce member, and your listing will have your Chamber of Commerce badge on your listing. So when people go there, they know that, oh, this business is a Chamber member.
Right.
Okay. Then we got the Facebook group. So now go down to under search popular categories, under the newest blog articles, you will see business card ads.
popular categories, newest blogs, and oh, okay, yeah.
Now, this is how you use real estate.
I love it, Frank.
Every one of these people pay a monthly fee to be featured on the homepage, and this is different than the BD featured homepage member.
Right,
You see, I have featured members a little bit down below that, which are in the BD system.
right,
But look at the difference in those featured members compared to the business card ads.
right. Okay.
Right? These are $97 a month. Do the math. There's $1,000 right there.
I love it. I love it.
Then under that, I promote other businesses that I do. So I
Right.
cross promote all my sites.
Okay.
So that's free advertising for me.
Right.
Then I have the featured members that are in the BD system, which pay a premium by only being able to be there if they're in one of the more higher end membership levels.
Right. And
Right.
then I also have your Wonderland Farm Animal Sanctuary. Good.
Yeah. Well, I put that in there free to promote one of my businesses, right?
Yeah.
Then if you look down towards the bottom of the page, above the footer, there's a rotating banner ad. Except it used to, oh, there it goes. Now it's rotating. Okay.
VinelandNJ.com, is that it?
Yeah, but it should change out in about 10 seconds.
I'm watching it. Okay.
Don't roll over it with the mouse or it won't move.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Yep, I see it.
So that's another way where in the same amount of space, you could put 10 ads, 20
Right.
ads, 100 ads.
I
Now,
love it.
you can't charge them the same as if they were there by themselves, but that's okay because you'll make more putting 10 than you will by having one, and it brings a little life to your site. Makes
Right.
it less static.
Right. Well, I figure that if you have 10 different ads, those 10 people come and look at it too, and they see each other's ads. So
Right.
it just hits your numbers
Right.
overall.
So now scroll up a little bit and go to, and under the featured members, the one in the middle, Parish Sign Company. You see that?
Right?
I click on that.
Click on
New
view
listing.
listing. Okay.
Now, this is a premium listing. You'll notice over in the sidebar, I have all these social media on the right-hand side. Facebook,
Right.
Twitter, Pinterest, everything. Right? That is something I sell people. If you want that on your listing, you have to pay for that.
Okay.
That number 5 is just to show me where an ad in the back end will appear when I create it, because they don't really tell you where it's going to show up.
Right. And what I'm starting to tell them too is they can use this almost like their website. They can have a direct
Exactly.
link to that,
Exactly.
and it's all in there.
Now, if you look at under the 5, there are 5 offers that people can get for free when they join the site. They can get a free video. They can get a free website. They can get 10 free blog posts. I forget what else I even offered there. Free
Wow.
landing page. What else? A display ad on your site. Again, this is more incentives to sign up. And then under that, I was going to do locally different niche sites for doctors, real estate, jewelers, contractors, events. And then I said, no, that's too much work. I'm going to put all of that on one site.
Right.
So that'll be changing out. Like I said, this hasn't launched yet.
So, okay, this
Now,
is
Then
very
I got
impressive.
another rotating banner ad, square one under that. And then at the bottom, if you join my top level membership, I will give you a 5 to 7 day complimentary vacation to any one of 125 resort cities around the world. You just pay the resort fees and the taxes. I could send you to Hawaii for 7 days for $170.
Wow.
You got to pay the airfare, but the room is free, except for you can't get out of paying taxes nowhere.
Right.
Nothing is totally free in life. But that vacation would have cost you for the room $1,700.
What state are you located in?
I'm in New Jersey. This is my site.
Okay.
One of
Uh,
my sites.
Very interesting. This is amazing. This is great. I mean, you're really working it and you understand it, and you've got, as you say, you're working all the real estate on the screen.
Yeah, and I haven't started yet. You haven't seen anything yet. All that blank space to the left under the rotating banner, that big white space, that's
Right.
all going to be used for something.
I love it, man. You're
See,
killing it.
I could put a landing page for a business right on this page where they can sell something right from the page through Sam Cart or ThriveCart. So depending on the type of business, if they have a special offer that they want to put on their site for the month, they can put it directly on their page.
So I'm sure you know how to do the affiliate marketing and all that too, right?
Yeah, I'm not real big on affiliate marketing, depending on which direction you're coming from, because the problem with affiliate marketing is if you want to be an affiliate marketer, you're only as good as the product you're associated with, and you can be shut down at any time. I
Okay.
don't like to be in any business where somebody can control my destiny. I used to be an actor. I used to do national TV commercials. I've been in movies. I was on all the soap operas in New York City, and I was making a ton of money. And I quit because somebody else was controlling my destiny.
Let me ask you a question. How precarious are we having BD sites that I guess tomorrow they could sell BD to Microsoft and then change the
Look,
deal on us.
no, if something like that happened, you're going to be grandfathered in. They're not
Okay.
going anywhere. They're raking in the cash. You have to understand, 95% of people never get their site launched.
Okay.
They
That's kind
buy
of
it, they spend the money, and they're spending nothing to support the people. Nothing.
right.
So they're doing very well for themselves.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, even to get an answer of a question, they're like, hey, go hire an expert.
Well, but yeah, because that's not their job. They sell you. It's like you buy a starter home, but they're not going to furnish it for you.
Right.
Now,
Right.
you can buy a furnished. See, that's what I do. If you want to look at a website like a piece of real estate, well, you can either go buy a home or you can buy a home that's been completely furnished. That's what I do. I furnish the empty home that you bought
Right. Okay. I love what you do, man.
because most people can't. First off, most people can't do it, and the ones who can't and would love to shouldn't be and don't have the time. Listen to me. If you're in real estate in South Florida, every minute you spend doing anything on your site, you're losing money.
You
You should
sound
be
like
selling real estate.
you sound like my wife again, Frank.
Well, she's right.
She is. I know she is. I've been having fun, but I know you're both right.
And let me
Uh,
explain something to you. Listen to this from a business standpoint. I got a guy who comes. Because I live on a lake, I have a nice sized backyard on the lake, but my front yard is the size of a postage stamp. Because what do you care? It's a lake house, right?
right? No,
So
I
I
get it.
pay a guy, mainly because I physically can't do it, but I don't mention that when I talk to him. I pay a guy to come and mow my front lawn. He charges me $35. It's nothing. And he says to me, he said, Frank, you mind if I said, why are you paying me $35 to mow my front lawn? I said, because while you're mowing my front lawn for $35, I'm on the internet making $100.
Right?
So if I pay you $35, I'm not just out $35, I'm out another $65. So you can come mow my lawn every day.
No, I get that. So the funny thing is, I had a business coach in real estate. And he basically told me that, like, whatever you do, whatever you're doing, just take a look at what you're doing and see if you could pay somebody to do it for less.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you, you have no idea, please don't tell me that you plan to devote yourself to you building this out. I mean, I only would have one word for that. And like I said, you won't like everything I say. That would be idiotic.
No, that's why I'm talking to you, and that's why I'm looking at salespeople. I mean, I could sell it, but I could do
All
my,
right,
you know.
let's move on to the salespeople.
I'll tell you the one mistake I made is my wife and I were talking, and I was thinking about that, how much it was costing me to have this conversation with her about, which drawer to put the spoons in. And
Right?
and my coach said, no, 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 you can't do
No, no, no.
that.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, the other day we're spreading mulch, and I'm thinking to my wife, I could be like doing something productive. And she's like, well, don't you love our house? I said, yeah, I love our house more. If
But
there was another guy spreading the mulch, though.
but Rick, there's only one thing you should be doing to be productive, and that's selling real estate.
You know,
Nothing else.
my sale
Nothing.
my
You
sales
said, "Oh, maybe I can go in right now. Maybe I can sell an ad to somebody." Please
my
put a gun in your mouth.
my sales mentor told me years ago. He said, you know what? If there's a job worth doing, it's worth paying somebody else to do it.
That's right. And here's the other thing. Let's talk about salespeople.
Okay.
You're not going to find anybody to sell this for you unless you are really willing to give away the farm. Because here's what happens. Everybody, they're gung ho at first, okay?
Right.
Now, do you believe that people should be out meeting people personally to sell this or by doing it over the phone?
I think that I've learned that personally is more effective, but over the phone is more efficient.
Thank you. Now, listen, I spent years in radio because that's where ugly people go. We don't go into television, okay? So you have to learn what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. The reason why I can sell anybody anything over the phone is I have a natural affinity to talk to people. I love to just intellectually engage with people. That's part of my joy in life. And when I was living in Manhattan, that's why I was never happier living anywhere because you could sit next to a bum on the subway and the guy, he'd be a genius and he just had a bad turn in life. You know what I mean? But he could
Uh-huh.
be an intellectual genius and you're having the greatest conversation you've ever had. But here I'm in, I don't even want to say it, but like, bum F New Jersey. And I can't find anybody that has an IQ over room temperature for me to talk to on a daily basis. So I
Uh-huh.
need this. I need this. But you can make 10 times the money on the phone you can ever meet going out to meet people. See,
Right.
when I worked for the chamber, let me tell you what they used to try to make us do. After we sold the membership, they wanted us to drive out to the business, present them with their plaque, give them their door sticker, shake their hand, and give them a greeting from the chamber president. How happy we are to have you aboard. Okay, and I
Right.
said to my sales manager who trained me, I said, I'm not going out there and pick up no checks. I said, I'm sending FedEx to pick up the check because while I'm not out picking up a check, I'm making 5 more sales. You're
Right.
not
Right.
getting me in my car.
Frank, we think totally the same. I'm like, why wouldn't you just put it online and let them put in their credit card information
Exactly.
and you're gonna go out there and give them a plaque? I said, you know what? I said, if you instead of doing that, why don't you take all the plaques and go put them in another member's location, maybe like a print shop or somebody who wants them to come in there, and then they can go into the print shop who's a member and wants to meet other members and they can pick up their plaque. You don't have to do anything, and both people are happy.
Now, let me tell you another thing that I just came up with a couple months ago that I haven't put into practice yet. I just got the logo, set the logo off to be designed. I've created something called American Hero Rewards. Now,
Okay.
what is that? If you're a first responder, a nurse, uh, a school teacher. I have about 6 or 7 occupations where, because these people helped us make it through the pandemic, we're now going to show our appreciation by being a business who displays this little plaque. And if you show your ID as a policeman, a fireman, an EMS, a teacher, or whatever, boom, you get an automatic discount.
I love it. I love it.
So every one of your, and this is another way to sell memberships because you get to say to people, you know, If a person has a choice to go to two businesses, one that's rewarding their recognizing and rewarding their contribution to society and giving them a discount, and somebody who's just saying, we're here, come spend your money, where do you think people are going to go?
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Hey, I got to ask you, did you ever follow a guy named Gary Halbert?
No, I know who Gary Howard is, but we have,
Okay.
how would I
Yeah.
describe it? I respect what Gary does, but he's really old school,
Right, right.
especially when it comes to ad copy and the psychology of advertising. You know, I'm not Ogilvy and Mather. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Uh, I have my own. I have my own Gary Halbert in my head.
Okay, that's fair. But you know,
Oh, absolutely. And some of his stuff is brilliant, but it wouldn't work for me. It
right?
wouldn't work for me. You have to be organically linked to something that you want to do. You have to
Okay,
be able to absorb it like via osmosis. And with him, you really almost have to take a college course to understand it.
right,
Now,
right.
you
So,
can grasp the basic principles, but to
right,
really put them into practice, no, you're not going to just do that unless you rip off his stuff, you know. I
right.
mean, you can do that, I guess, but I don't rip
So,
anybody off. I take pride in what I create. I created.
no, you can rip him off now. He's dead,
All
and
right,
uh,
yeah.
and he encouraged people to rip him
I
off.
know. I have a link to all his stuff, and let me tell you how times I've gone there. Never,
Okay. So
never.
tell me what you were thinking sales wise,
Do you? Well, see, now we have a problem because of COVID. We can't get
right?
a bunch of people in a room.
Right? Yeah, we can, but on Zoom, in a Zoom room.
Well, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having a small telemarketing operation. See, here's how the only way this works. Let's say I call you up and I say, well, I could do it because I'm better at it than anybody you know. But even I
Right,
wouldn't want to do it this way because of what I'm going to tell you now. By
okay,
having a room where people can hear one another sell, when I was talking about osmosis, that's how they get better. They get to hear the good people and they absorb what they know the good people are doing that makes them good. Do you know what I
okay.
mean? So
I'll buy that.
somebody says to you, I want to call businesses for your company and I want to sell them memberships over the phone. Yeah, that'll last good for a week, 2 weeks. And then they lose interest because it's grueling. You got nobody to get energy from. You got nobody to ask a question. Like when we would get new people and we would tell them, you're new for your first 100 calls. Every time you make a phone call, when you get off of that call, we want you to ask the guy next to you one question at least about what you encountered in that call. Yes, you're interrupting that person's sales time, but somebody did it for him and he's going to do it for you because that's how we operate. And
Right,
later on, you're going to be doing it for somebody else if you're still here. So by having everybody in a room, you're also to be able to, you could do, I used to walk up to the front of the room, take $100 bill, thumbtack it to the cork board. The next person who makes 3 sales, that $100 bill is yours. You never saw people dial so fast in your life.
I love it. I love it.
Did you think that $100 cost me anything? No, it made me $300 in my own pocket from my commission.
From just that guy. From just that guy. Plus
Just
all
the
the
guy
other
who
guys
won.
sold one or
But
two.
no, not only just that guy, because everybody else was trying harder too. They just
Right.
weren't the first guy to win. They might have had 1 or 2 sales when the first guy got to 3. So I made more money from all of them.
I love it. That's crowdsourcing. I love that. You got some good ideas, Frank.
I did this for 20 years. I've trained thousands of telemarketers coast
Uh-huh.
to coast. No, I'm going to say this is no BS. In my best year, I made, and you may say, well, gee, real estate, I made 10 times that. Well, you should in real estate. But I had a $250,000 a year for sitting on my ass talking on the phone. And after a while, I never even called anymore. I just managed the operation. I didn't call anybody anymore.
I love it. I love it.
I trained people how to go out and make money for me. Go make me money. That's what I want to. That's what your job is. Your job is to make me money.
You know what? Frankly, half that out of this, if I'm not there all the time, I'm looking at maybe this to pass on to my kids as
Sure.
as passive income one day.
And well, it's not really passive, it's recurring. There's a big difference.
Okay.
Passive means you never have to touch it ever.
Right.
And if you don't touch a directory site and keep adding new articles, new members, new features, it'll die a slow death.
Let me throw one other thing out there that I haven't told you about. The reason I got into this is I started a Facebook group about a year and a half ago.
Right.
Called Lauderdale by the Sea Happenings. Lauderdale by the Sea has 6,000 people in our population.
Right.
I now about 15,000 people in that group, and a couple other groups with a total of about 20,000 people that are really active from 85 countries.
Right.
That love our area. They vacation here regularly. They ask about restaurants. We get about 100,000 post comments and reactions a month.
Right.
Those groups.
Well, look, you couldn't be in a more. I mean, look. Let me tell you something. I talk to directory owners every day.
Right.
Up till now, this one has the greatest potential. And you should be monetizing all those people in your Facebook groups.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. That's why I'm talking to you.
Well, we're going to have quite a few conversations over the next couple weeks.
Okay.
I don't know yet. I'd really need to look this over, think of all the things that you could do to make money with it. But if you're willing to pay me what I'm worth, we might be able to work something out.
There's an old joke. A guy comes in, interviews for a job, and they ask him. He asks what the salary is, and the employer says, "Well, we'll pay you what you're worth. We'll look at your experience and everything, and your resume, and I'll pay you what you're worth." And the guy gets up and he leaves. He says, "Well, why are you leaving?" He says, "Well, I'm making more than that now."
Well, so I'll give you one. Listen to this.
Okay.
Let's say that you say, "Okay, Frank, I want to, now, first of all, nobody gives me a job, okay? Nobody hires me. I work with people, all right?
Right.
I form business relationships. But let's say that you have a business, somebody comes in and they say, well, I'd like to give you a job. How would you like to be paid?" And I say to you, "Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. I want you to pay me a penny on the first day, 2 cents on the third day, 4 cents on the next day, and I want you to double that every day for 30 days, and then at the end of the 30 days, you never have to pay me again, and I will work for you for the rest of my natural life."
Right.
Would you take that deal?
No, because I know that I've seen the numbers.
Yeah. It's millions.
Right?
It's millions. But it sounds like, well, what's it going to be? Like $6,000?
Right. So yeah, I've heard about the piece of rice on the first square of the chessboard.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't, I'm looking for. I mean, you and I think are on the same page. I believe in value. I believe that
And again, I work straight commission, so I don't cost you a penny.
Right.
And you're not going to get. I mean, I got to tell you the truth. If I didn't think this had real potential, but it had good potential, I'd say, well, yeah, I'll come aboard on straight commission, but I do want a signing bonus. I want something just to like drop a lot of what I'm doing and come aboard.
Right. Right.
But I think because I've lived there. I know. This is the best thing I've seen yet.
Really? So why is mine better than anybody? I mean, I've seen some other pretty nice looking ones.
It's not about the directory. It's about location, location, location.
Okay, so my also view, I'm trying to take the big view, which I've never really done in my life. I've always been the guy that did all the work. Uh, is that this thing has legs? That if I can get this humming along in Lauderdale and Fort Lauderdale area, then I
Right.
can.
You move down to Miami.
Yeah, I can go anywhere. I can go Naples. I can go to Sarasota.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
there's
what
no
what
limit,
you then do is you create a franchise, and you don't want to do them yourself. You want to
right?
give people a business in a box that you can franchise,
Right?
and you're done. You get your upfront money, you get a percentage of their sales, and they do all the work. You do nothing. I can help you do that
That's
because
I
I'm
love.
already doing that. I'm putting together right now a directory business in a box. I'm already working on that with a friend of mine in Ireland.
Well, and frankly, it seems like that's what BD does. You know, there's a group that somebody was telling me about Serta Kids, and they sell it to these moms for $59 a month, and 99% of them never do anything with it. But yeah, I think we've got something here that, also if I can drive the business to these businesses, because I really want to give them value. That's what I'm all about. I don't want somebody to write me a check and then them not get value. But part of the way they get value is I got to drive people to the site. So when I get more members, they all will see each other. I mean, it's like a big chamber of commerce, except better, because we're really doing something for
Right. See,
these.
I wish what I could do with this is put together. See, if I lived there, then it'd be forget it, you know. But I need a telemarketing operation of 6 people that I can run.
Right? Right?
And
So I had a young girl that I interviewed for that wants to do something with me, and she was actually talking about putting together a sales team, and my head just wasn't wrapped around that yet. I'm not big enough yet to really see the possibilities or understand what's possible. I mean, I'm 6 weeks into this. I don't. People
yeah, but
say
she
to me,
wa-
"What's
but
your
she wants to put a sales team together that you're going to be responsible for.
Well, she was. I would. My thought was I would hire her, and then she could have whoever she wanted working under her. My thinking was that I would pay $100 per paid member
Right.
if they paid annually, and if somebody paid monthly, I'd pay half in 6 months and half in the other 6 months. But thinking that I want them to push them all to annual. But again, people ask me what's my conversion rate, and I said, my sample size is too small for it to be
Right.
reliable.
But that's not a good pay. I mean, I would work out a complete payment structure for you to show you how to, just in the way you pay people will help determine how successful they're going to be.
I think that's a huge factor. Huge, huge
And
factor.
and
You're
you
right.
know, and I know how to do that. I mean, it's because
Okay,
we
yeah.
you have to understand when I worked for this company, see, people would say to us, "Why do you make us stick to your script word for word? Why can't
Right.
I deviate?" Every now and then somebody will say something to me and I got something good I can say back. I said, "Well, that's fine once you reach the conversation point, but the pitch has to be word for word because we built our business on this pitch. Who are you to think you can deviate from it and be successful?" And then I would prove it to people. When people say, "You know what, they're doing really great. They're making a lot of money." Then they want to start changing the pitch. I say, "Go ahead. I authorize you to change the pitch." And you know what happened? They made
Right.
less money.
Their face. Yeah, I took some sales training from a guy named Mike Ferry, and that's his deal. He's like, listen, I've worked it out. Don't don't change it. Just say it naturally,
Right,
practice it over and over
right.
again, but
And I tell
just
people, if
do
you
this.
think you're better than me, go tell my boss and tell him you want my job.
Right, just do it like this, and you'll be successful.
Yeah. And then I say to them, don't you understand that I want you to be as successful as you can be? Because the more money you make, the more money I make. So
Yeah,
why am I going to teach you the best of everything I know?
we don't hire a guy at McDonald's and then tell him to go figure out how long to cook the fries.
Exactly.
Cook them at 142 degrees until the buzzer goes off, and then lift the thing out of the.
Thank you. Well, here's what you need to do
Okay, tell me our next step, Frank.
to get me interested. You need to map out your 30,000-foot view and show me where you are, where you'd like to be in 30 days, where you'd like to be in a year, and what ideas you have to get there. So I see if they mesh with the way I would approach this. And if not, am I able to convince you that my way would be better than what you've mapped out? And
No,
then we know if we have something.
no, you're good because I'm like Columbus, getting out on the ship and you're telling me, hey, show me the map to get where you want to go, and I say I'm not sure where.
Yeah, but see, but my vision doesn't matter because this is your baby.
Right,
Like you said,
right,
you may want to leave it to your family someday. Well, and now again, of course, if I came to work with you, I would want to be as successful as humanly possible
right,
because the more money I make from you, the better my animals eat. Okay.
right, right.
So, and
Tell
I
me a
don't
little,
do. Go ahead.
tell me a little bit about the animals. Tell me what that deal is.
I have a place called the Wonderland Farm Animal Sanctuary. Right now, we have about 150 animals. We only take in abused and abandoned farm animals, and
Okay.
we give them a forever home because it's hard to once you get like a cow in, it's hard to do anything with it. But we do try to find homes for them because we are in a very agricultural area. But we just commit to never putting an animal down unless the vet says it's time to do so.
Are you a 501c3?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And I'm sure you have a nice website and some good pictures.
We have a nice website and some good pictures, but it's because I do 10 different things. It's not as good as I want it to be, but it's certainly nothing to be embarrassed over.
Okay, will you send me a link or some information so I can take a look at that, and maybe I can do some promotion on that as well.
Well, that's fine, but without you have to understand the way these things work. It's a very local. In other words, people are always going to want to do work with an animal. In your backyard, there are probably 10 animal rescues.
Yeah, but I just had a guy that gave me $125 worth of his time for free.
All right. Well, yeah, I have nothing against it, but I think you'll find that when people will say, "Well, can't I do anything locally?"
right, right. No,
Especially because they want, why? They want local recognition.
right. Well, I might not be able to help you at all, but maybe.
Sure. No,
Yeah,
that's fine. But the other thing we need to talk about is finishing the physical aspects of your site.
okay.
It needs work.
So,
Not a ton of work.
like these, to make the banners smaller, to make them scroll, all that stuff. Is that all in the standard program that I got, or is
No.
that coding and?
Yeah, it's all that's it's not a lot of money. I mean, what do you used to? Have you paid anybody for anything outside of BD by the hour for work?
The only guy I paid is Ryan, and he solved some problems for me for about the grand total of about $30.
Right, but they were coding errors and stuff like that.
It was like, how do I change the background or the color or
Right,
something's
but
not.
did he do it or did you do it?
He did it, but then I saw how to do it. I think
Yeah.
was what I don't remember what it was, but like if
Well,
I came.
understand, and this is nothing against Ryan because everybody does it, and even like me with giving a free consultation. Why do I do it? Well, I love to do it, number one. But secondly, of course, I hope you'll come back to me later. That's why people do stuff for free or very low cost in the beginning, is to ingratiate themselves to you.
Right,
You know,
right,
so I mean, if there's something I can't do, I don't say, "Oh, let me try to do it and take the money from Ryan." Ryan and I work together. We work
okay,
on projects together. When I work on a site, he's working on the site. Uh, But he may charge me $5 an hour less than he would charge you, so that I can make at least something for referring him the work that he still has to be paid for.
Right, right. No, I'm good with that. I don't mind,
But what I'm trying to determine is, I don't want to charge you what I charge people because you may not be comfortable with that number. So I'm trying to determine what is an hourly rate that you are comfortable with.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he charged that was like $20 or $30 an hour,
Yeah, I
but
think his basic rate is $30 an hour. And
yeah,
that's what I try to keep mine at
yeah.
because
That's,
because we work together. Yeah.
what you or he does for me, and as you said, not only can I do something else, but what you do in 5 minutes, it would take me six hours to do.
Well, and not only that, I act as a general contractor. In other words, if something needs to be done by Ryan, I give him that task, not you.
Okay,
So you're out
good.
of the picture. You're just doing your job, and you got two people behind the scenes working for you.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Let me ask you one other question. There's a guy named Gregory Bell.
Oh my God.
Okay. All
I
right. I
have
think.
no idea what this guy does, and I don't think he knows either.
Okay. Now I feel better then.
Have you
Yeah.
spoken to him?
Yeah, we've exchanged some emails, and he's always like, "Let me." Yeah, I did because he showed me how he could do some kind of coding, and we could swap banner ads or something, and it made me frankly a little nervous, so I
Yeah,
deleted
his whole thing is some sort of I want everybody who has a BD directory to be on my site so I can help them market their site and it gives my site more credibility. And to me, it look, I don't know the guy. I'm not going to badmouth the guy because I don't like to talk bad about people, but just from the business aspect, I don't know. If I can't understand it, I can't be involved in it.
Well, if you don't, I thought maybe it was just me that didn't understand it.
Nobody, me and Ryan laugh at it every day.
Okay,
He's
good,
got
good.
this one thing where he wants like $50,000.
Because he hasn't asked me for money, man. His latest is he says he wants to sell for me, but I don't know. He just made me nervous.
Well, then once we get going, if somebody says to you, I want to sell for you, you'll just be able to put them in touch with me and I'll handle that for you.
Okay,
See,
beautiful.
you shouldn't be talking to these nuts.
Well, I go on this strategy group, the BD Facebook group, because I don't know what I'm doing. So I
Yeah,
post.
but everybody there knows less than you except for six people. Okay.
I'm realizing that very quickly.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, there's me, there's Ryan, there's Patrick Brunel, but he's extremely expensive. I mean,
Right.
his smallest jobs can cost thousands of dollars.
Right.
The other thing we need to do, and the other thing we did not talk about.
Yes,
You have
sir.
5 more minutes?
Yep.
Okay. 135 people is not a directory.
Right.
Paid
Oh, I
or
know.
free, doesn't matter.
Right.
You're in an area where you should have thousands. Every business. See, let me tell you what I did with Vineland, New Jersey. I put every single business in my area in the directory for free. Why? Because now I get to call them up one at a time and say, hi, blah, 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 blah. Oh, we have this beautiful directory. We've given you a free listing. I started with the Chamber of Commerce members first. Because you're a chamber member, we've worked a deal with the chamber that we're going to give you a free listing, absolutely no cost. All we ask that you do is go in, verify that your information is correct. If you've got 5 minutes, I can do this right now over the phone with you. And the whole idea is I do not sell anybody a chamber listing. That is not how I make my money. I make my money by putting them in a directory, calling them up and tell them that they're in the directory, and then I sell them ancillary products and services, videos, email marketing, websites. Why am I going to chase somebody down for a $29 a month membership where they get to say no 12 times a year when I could sell them a $3,000 website?
I like it. I like what you're doing, man. So where do you put them in individually by yourself, or do you mass batch them into there?
You have to make. You're talking about thousands of business. You have to pay for a high quality list. Now, you may be able. Do you have relationships with the other chambers besides the ones you are
Yes.
involved in?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what I would do. I would tell every chamber that you will give any of their members a free listing. Now, here's how it has to work. Everybody in the chamber has to go into your directory free of charge. You will
Right.
give them the chamber badge so that when people see the business, they see the chamber badge. You will give each chamber a rotating banner ad on your website. But you need name, address, phone number, contact person, website URL, and email address. If you can get that, I'll build you $1 million business.
Okay.
If you can't get it through them, you're going to have to go out and buy it.
No, I don't. I'll share with you my secret.
Okay.
Okay. Freedom of Information Act. You can go to any governmental entity, and
But
you
they're
can
not government.
what?
They're not
No,
government.
the chamber's not, but every business down here at least, and probably in your area too, has to go to the city and county and get an occupational license.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And
And I use those,
that list is available to you in electronic format.
Oh, sure. I get my list I go to my local county clerk's office website every week, get the
Right.
listings of all the brand new businesses that applied in the past week for a business license, and I call
Right.
them up and tell them whatever they need to help get their business off the ground, I'm here to do it for them. And you know what they say? Thank God, because man, I am buried.
Right, right.
And then,
So
then,
what?
then I tell them I'm going to build them a free website. What? People are calling me up. They want $10,000. I said, I'm going to build you a beautiful website for free. It'll be, once you give me the information I need, I'll have it up and running in 3 days. I own that person for the rest of their business life.
Wow, that's smart.
And you should
That's
be doing the same thing. See, I do not want to just sell for you. I
Right.
want to take my business model and integrate it into what you're doing, because there's no way for it to be more successful than integrate it into what you're doing. There's a lot of sites I could do it with, even my own. My site wouldn't be as successful as yours will in
Right.
integrating my program. I have a program. I have a way to make money with a directory site. And the different directory sites, what they do and how they do it, will determine how successful the program is. And as I said, up till now, I see this as the best opportunity for you to have a successful directory site, and for me, by integrating my program into it, to make sure that you make more money than you've ever dreamed of
I love
doing
it.
a directory site.
So, two questions. You
Yep.
wanted to do that with the chamber. Why chamber members as opposed to just everybody?
Oh, you do want everybody,
right?
But what you're going to find with the list that you're going to get from the county offices, there may not be enough. You really need to get emails. Without emails, you got nothing.
A lot of them have emails.
Okay, well then, the more of those you can get, the better. If you have access to that information, and if we can go from 195 to 6,000 members in this directory, you won't need another one.
Okay, I've got that list from Lauderdale by the Sea and from Pompano. I got it pre-COVID though, so some of those people may be dead by now.
That doesn't matter. We'll if we have the email addresses, it won't matter, because then we email them, tell them they're in the directory, and if they don't go and take care of their listing within 10 days to make sure it's updated, we're taking them out. We don't need a directory that doesn't have valuable information that people can use.
Okay, yeah, and I've been scared to batch load it because I understand that it's
It's the hardest thing there is to do.
yeah, so that's something that I was going to turn over to Ryan when I was ready to do it. But yeah, so we'll talk about that. And secondly, you just like my area because I mean, I go back to the why me, why me, why do you think mine's so good? I mean, it's
What did
only
I say? Location, location, location.
okay.
You should know that better than anybody.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
If you were in Butte, Montana, do you think we'd be having this conversation?
No, I think Butte, Montana probably has a lot of people too that you could do this with.
Yes,
But maybe wrong.
but look, they don't call it the gold. Don't they call it the Gold Coast?
No, the Gold Coast is a little bit further north. This is the Sunshine Coast, I think, or
Oh,
something.
I thought it was the Gold Coast.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I thought the Gold Coast. No, maybe it's the Treasure Coast that's north of us.
Yeah. Well, for us, this is the Gold Coast because we're going to make gold.
Yeah, it's gotta be the Gold
I'll
Coast.
show you how to mine gold.
Yeah, you're right. We're the Gold Coast. I'm
Now,
sorry. I
even
didn't.
though we've only had one conversation, and let me
Yeah.
look at something here. That started at. We've been on the phone an hour and 15 minutes.
Right.
I don't ask anybody for anything in the way of money, but I do ask for one thing.
What do you ask for? What can I
Go
do?
on the group. You said Frank promised me we'd have a conversation. He showed
Right.
up as promised. We had it. And then you can, in your own words, state if you felt you learned anything, if it was valuable.
Yep.
Just
Okay, you got it. You got it. And you know what?
I want to be appreciated. I'm Italian. It's important to me. I want to be loved.
Yeah, you know what? I started doing the same thing when I was helping local businesses, and I was doing a lot of helping them in my free Facebook groups. And yeah, I did finally say, you know what? By the way, I'd appreciate it if you keep me in mind for somebody buying real estate or
Absolutely.
as a testimonial.
And also, it'd be nice if. Oh, and by the way, he didn't try to sell me anything.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
and that's important because people think, oh yeah, well, how many, how they. When I tell people I'm going to talk to them for free, nobody believes it.
Ah,
Now,
okay.
did you learn anything of value today?
I learned a ton of value, and I'm going to put
That's what
that
I would love you to communicate in your honest feelings, and I would also think that you would feel that I could benefit. I know enough about this stuff where I could benefit anyone. Maybe not in the same way as you, because I see a special application for what you're doing. See and understand, what you're doing is boundless. There are no boundaries to what you're doing here. Even if you think you're at 30,000 feet, I'm 2 miles up, okay?
right.
I have got an overview of every aspect of this that you've never even dreamt of. Special programs just for the restaurants, special programs just for hotels, tourist attractions, golf courses. I have got so much stuff in my brain it's spilling out. I gotta like put my hands over my ears and hold my nose to keep it from coming out. It's just jam packed in there, and not just ideas, thought through programs that are just ready to be put in effect.
Okay. So listen, I just had an awesome conversation with Frank Falcone.
No,
Tag.
just go write it in your own words. I don't want to hear it. I trust. But what I suggest you do, what I tell people to do is write it offline and then copy and paste it and post it online. Because you'll write better when you're not. Because with Facebook, you hit the wrong key, it enters your post. Yeah.
I know how to edit it too. I'm good with that. By the way, one other quick question.
Sure.
Corey had originally told me to make my Facebook group private. I didn't do it. They're public groups except for one of them I tried private. It still grows, but you can't share so easily.
Right. Well, look, Corey is a really great guy, but
Right.
but his business model. I want to explain something to you. Remember, I was talking about
Right.
you shouldn't be doing anything other than selling real estate.
Right.
If you follow his business model, you'll never be able to sell any real estate. He is a go-getter, but he is 100% committed to going out in person every day, all day, and spending his time talking to people about his directory. You cannot model that application. It cannot be done.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to model that.
It can't be done. Did you
Yeah.
sign up for his course?
No, I didn't sign up for his course.
You know, you may want to invest the money and just check it out. You may say, you know what, I don't care what Frank said. I think this is great. You know,
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, I think it's like $347, but I mean,
I think so. So the my introduction to him, frankly, somebody said to me, "Hey, this guy, are you interested in selling your Facebook group?"
right.
And I did
Which you
some
should never
research.
do. If somebody
Yeah,
wants to buy it, then it's worth you keeping it.
yeah,
As long
exactly.
as you learn, but here's what you're missing. They
Right,
want to buy it because they see that you're not monetizing it and they know they can.
right. But I figured did some research and figured you could buy a pretty big Facebook group for 400 or 500 bucks, and I know
No.
mine's hundreds of thousands of dollars in just the real estate business.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you don't ever want to sell your group. But you don't want it to just sit there with, having a lot of members is meaningless if they're not producing any money for you.
Right, right.
Members should equal dollars.
Well, I can tell you that, just one of my things about having the directory group was, and I was going to have some really high price memberships just because those are good to give away for me, for my clients, and they see value. Uh, I sold a hotel. I did a video. I put him as an elite member in the group and, did all that and he sold right away 25 room nights. At his hotel, which is worth 2,500 bucks or more to him. I mean, that
Right.
was the first month. And he saw that, he would have had to pay hotels.com, percentage of that, 15, 20%.
Right.
So he was really appreciative of that and saw the value. But frankly, I just sold him a $2 million property. So I made a, pretty nice commission. So,
Exactly. And that's what
so,
I'm saying. So what? See, and
so
here's another thing, and this is nothing personal against you, but this has been my experience with, and I don't understand it because, I'm comfortable, but I spend money at the drop of a hat. I don't ever say to myself, oh, I don't know. I mean, that's too much money, maybe. And look, you spend what needs to be spent. As long as it's being spent wisely and you feel like you're making, it's not about spending money, it's about investing it.
yeah, if there's an ROI, then there's no budget, right?
Right. But even ROI sometimes isn't immediate and comes in a roundabout way. You know what I mean?
Right.
I do things that don't produce any money on their own, but they put me in a direction where, oh, that's where the money's going to come from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to take a little sidestep before you can move forward.
No, you
But
and I mean, I'm in real estate, so I spend a lot of money on
yeah,
stuff that doesn't pan out.
hopefully, I mean, I think you got something here, but only if you do it at its full potential. If you just plod along, and again, it's your life, you can plod along if you want to, but there's no reason why you couldn't invest a couple of years in this and sell it for $1 million.
Yeah, this I see that it's got legs, it's got potential, and at 61 years old, it gives me an opportunity to work it as much as I want, and
Right,
sometimes wake up in the morning and see money going from Stripe into my account.
right.
That's pretty cool. I never had that before. You
Yeah.
know, all my life I had to work each day to make the money.
Well, at 60, you should still be working. I mean, you got a nice boat at least down there?
You know what? I got out of the boats.
Yeah, I got out of the boat too. I had a beautiful 16-foot, what they call a Sweet 16 Donzi.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I went to school with Don Aronow's sons, so
Oh,
I know.
really? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
yeah,
great boat, but I ran out of lake. Ran out of lake before I ran out of boat.
yeah. That's a cute boat. They call that the Sweet 16, right?
Right. It was beautiful. It was banana yellow and white. It was just gorgeous. Had a
Nice.
Corvette engine in it.
So I had some clients from Sweden. They actually got a boat and they wanted me to go in with them, and I was about to until I realized that, you know what, I'm going to be responsible for this thing through hurricane season and everything else. And if I go in, I'm a partner. So I decided not to, and they said, you know what, we put you on the insurance. Here's the keys. We're never here anyway. And I still don't find time to use it. It's I've been boating enough to know that every time you use them, they break something that breaks.
Yeah, that's I'd say, and I'm not a mechanic. I mean, I used to race motorcycles many, many years ago. I
Uh-huh.
couldn't change a spark plug. I just pay the mechanic.
Right, right.
I love the race, but everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses.
Well, sounds like we'll get to know each other. So I'm living on a lake here, and
How are you?
as well, tiny with a tiny backyard, but right by the ocean, and it sounds like we've got a lot in common with
I
between the
think so.
chick.
I mean, look, I've spoken to hundreds of people. I haven't enjoyed a conversation this much in years.
I appreciate the comment. Me too.
Well,
Me
you
too.
seem like a very personable man.
You too. You too. So I'll let you run and enjoy your Saturday, but this has been fascinating, productive, interesting, and I got a review that I got to write on somebody.
Yeah, use all those words. Well, you've been very kind, and I appreciate it.
All right, you too. Thank
All
you
right,
so
so
much.
and get that. I don't need it like immediately, but start working on that plan in your head of where you want to get, because then I know how to get us there.
Okay, I got to work on it because it's again, it's uncharted waters for me.
Right?
So
Do you use a do you carry a voice recorder?
my phone, yeah, all
Oh,
our phones,
okay, there you go.
right?
Yeah, just put your notes in there as they pop in your mind.
Okay,
All right, we'll talk again soon.
fantastic. Have a great day.
You too. Take care now.
Bye.
Bye bye.
I got to figure out how to hang up.
I'll do it from here.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I just got to find the page.
Yeah, me too.
I got it here somewhere. Hold on. There we go.
Facebook. Okay, I'll let you hang up.
All right, I
Thanks,
got
bro.
it. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Where the heck did it go?
We can't hang
Oh,
up.
I got it. Now
We
wait a
can't
minute.
get rid of each other, Frank.
Yeah, I only do this for a living, so here it is. I got it right now. Here we go. See you later.
All right, ciao.